Hey everyone, it's Tracy, and going down the list of second passport, dual citizenship by investment options, we come to Vanuatu, which is always interesting because as much as I deal with it and have looked it up in the past, I always have a hard time finding it on a map, but it's about like a 5 hour flight-ish less from Australia in the South Pacific. And it's nice because it is the only citizenship or residency by investment option in the South Pacific, and it's relatively cheap. So the base level for one person to obtain a second passport is $130,000. And that $130,000 increases if you have a spouse to 150, 165 with one child, and then 180 with two children, and then 5,000 for every child after that. There is a $5,400 application and due diligence fee per application, not per person, which is nice. Usually it's per person. And the process is relatively quick. Takes about 2 months, give or take, how good you are filling out the paperwork. But the options for investment are always key. Prior to 2017, the investment always went to the development fund. So it was non-refundable and you didn't get anything for it other than your passport. But after 2017, you could invest in quote unquote approved real estate, which in this case, in Vanuatu, does not have to be a commercial enterprise. So if you were to buy your own house, which for $200,000, which is the threshold for approved real estate, you can get a lot of house in Vanuatu, right? Of which there are 80 some islands that make up the entire country, Port Vila being the largest and probably where you would live. But for $200,000, you can effectively buy your own house, provided you maintain the house for a period of 7 years, right? So you can invest, hold on to it. After 7 years, you can sell it and do whatever you want to do. As it relates to, where you stay, right? So you think about Puerto Rico, which has its own residency program. In order to qualify, you need to stay on the island for at least half the year. And they actually monitor that by your cell phone records. So like if you, go back to Florida or wherever you otherwise living, they will like periodically check to see if you are in Puerto Rico to try to ascertain whether you're spending more than half your time there until you qualify for a passport and become a full citizen. So Vanuatu doesn't have that, right? It's really just the financial end of it. And it's so much so that in order to take the oath to become a Vanuatuan citizen, you don't actually have to go to Vanuatu. You can actually take it like anywhere before a notary or a judge or somebody who has the ability to certify and take oaths. So it's very easy. It's almost like they don't really care if you come or not. And, from a financial services standpoint, Vanuatu is obviously a offshore destination, right? In terms of banking, like forex and now crypto. So, for my crypto friends out there, obviously there's a crypto license. I've talked about it here before. And you'll find that the island, despite being very remote and, a relatively small internal domestic economy that focuses primarily on travel, they're actually surprisingly crypto friendly. Like you can actually find Bitcoin ATMs on the island, and there actually are services and retail shops that will accept crypto. And obviously the ability to get a digital asset license there is quite easy. And if you were a citizen, you could mitigate costs thereof because you could serve as your own local director, authorized representative, and all the other things that you need. So it's a, especially if you were looking to get out of the Caribbean, right? Like the overwhelming majority of all these second citizenship residency programs are going to be in the Caribbean because it's a big revenue center for them. But if you're looking for somewhere else and not like to Malta or someplace in the EU or around the EU, rather, Vanuatu is really your only choice, right? And if you're looking for sort of a island lifestyle, obviously, that's what you're going to get there. So If you have any questions, definitely hit me up. That's Vanuatu. Really efficient cost-wise, good standard of living, and for someone involved in the offshore financial center world, it's probably ideal, right? It just depends on how early or late you want to get up, right? Depending on who your target market is. So definitely hit me up, adamtracy.io, and I will talk to you next time. Cheers.